Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing. Testing.
Mr. Ogletree. Oh, he's on the bed. Okay. Gordon, did you get a rack out yet? Okay.
Where's the yellow mic? This one here?
No, this is receiver.
Hunter!
He's got it already? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I was looking for Hunter. Okay. Just keep an eye out for him if you see him. Mr. Ogletree? Oh, okay. Linda Smith? Didn't we get Linda Smith? No? Oh, okay, you're in line. All right. Okay. All right, let me try and get some of these people filled in. Flight B is good. Flight C is good.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to get this.
Angela Walker.
Do it over here.
Okay. 4 for Mr.
Ogletree?
Get close.
Getting close? No, but what? 15 minutes, maybe?
Yeah, he has 15 minutes to talk.
What's he at? 1? 4. That was close.
I know, I gotta get some more chairs. No, I just need to be back here before we start.
Some of us came with our own chairs.
Goes Ashley. Everybody stand up. Huh?
You got some empty ones in here. Not bad.
Yeah.
What you need?
Can you bring us some more chairs?
Yeah. How many do you need?
Yes, that
How
is.
many do you need? Just the ones from our storage? Okay, I got you.
You need help or you good? Joseph?
I just printed it out upstairs. I don't know if you need it or not.
For you.
Okay.
I got mine.
Okay, gotcha. It was on the desk.
I know, I left it there. Yeah. Appreciate that help, Chris. I left for you guys, man. Good. What do you think, man? No. Dylan just put this more chairs, yeah.
Okay.
We're just filling that space in there, you know.
Okay. I was gonna say, do we want to push anything out?
He did already.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. And what was a couple pieces offline because of the backdrop. I didn't know we were gonna have that.
Right.
You know?
All right. Cordon jeans.
Computer stuff. That's all streaming.
Yes.
This looks good.
I was thinking cordon bleu, my favorite
I got
meal.
a marker over there as well.
Well,
In the corner. You can't see it from here.
it makes you sound classy there.
Everything looks good locked off.
He said,
Yep. We're good.
Everybody feel like they got enough room?
I think so.
Warm up line?
But I think so now.
We've been bringing more barbells over in here?
No. I set up all the barbells this morning. We're good. Yeah. So it's just a line of sight for the cameras. One in the corner and one right here. So to have folks here, it's going to be
You
a little.
want that one here?
No.
Set it back there?
No. They've already set it up, measured it, and all that. So
Joseph?
angle-wise,
Roscoe?
because we want to get this bench as well.
Okay.
You want to kind of get from the side, not directly in front. Side, so you can
Not
see the
Joseph.
chest and not the crotch.
I did not need to know
Just want
that.
to try and keep people from standing right now.
No, that was
This
too
might be the main
much.
culprit,
That
right?
was too much sharing.
We want to move this thing.
Let's keep something between us. Let's keep some secrets.
Yeah, what's this deal for?
Just for now.
Yeah.
Miss Smith is
But
on
people
there.
are getting
Richard
their
Massenberg.
heights and everything. We're putting that in.
You're waiting to get on? Okay.
Scott's running that show.
We're almost there.
Yeah.
And we're still looking for Hunter.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, Mike, will you hand me my phone and glasses right
For
there
short people.
so I can see?
Myself.
I heard that.
I mean, Mike suggested, he said, you got any plates you can
Listen,
put down the
I
floor?
am not
I'm
too
like, yeah,
proud
I
to
got just
say
the right
I'm
plates.
blind as a bat. Linda. Linda, listen,
Yeah,
Linda.
we're filling that
Oh, I
gap
can't even
there,
see that
right?
here, can I?
Because we need this open.
Linda's number one.
What time y'all trying to start?
As soon as we get everybody's height and everything, bar height,
So
rack height, I should say.
I'm going to
Everything
leave
else is
all
done.
the A's out.
Check our system back there, man. Step back there like you're, here, you want the mic? I give you, man, you can take over, bro. You'll be real good. You know what I mean? Hi, Ashley.
I told everyone last night, I said, you're in powerlifting, when you get down there. I said, it's just like,
That's Richard right there.
I said, I'm not gonna say anymore. It's gonna be beautiful, but yeah, it looks great.
Okay.
So, thank you.
You got your guy behind you. You good? Oh, you're good. You're good. Ashley. You're good. So, this is a lap. I didn't know we were gonna have a backdrop and
People that
everything.
didn't show last night came today.
We have that. It's
He's a
deep
two.
all over the place.
Okay.
But I said, no, they need this down there.
No,
So I
we
said, you
were
guys
missing
need to
6,
do
so we
No,
had
I'm
to
doing. I told Brandon, I said, Brandon, you gotta watch these wheelchair people. I said, they will strip this stuff down to half set. We don't even know if they're trying. So I said, I'm just putting things up.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
Because we will mess this up in a half second. Anyway, so
Okay.
I came over and saw the chairs and said, I need you to come out. Let me just do a few things. We don't need anything happen here.
We need more space, though. You know that?
Huh?
We need more space. Well, nothing we can do right now.
You know,
Morning. How are you?
Good to see you.
Good, likewise.
Beautiful. All right. And you're good to go today, right?
Yeah. Well, I want Chris to take over.
I'm here to support Red.
Good.
My boss's boss is going to support me, and I'm going to pass the mic to him. He's good. He's real good. He is.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll get into a rhythm.
Okay.
We'll get
Can I
into
say something?
Yeah.
Do you see this face?
Yeah.
When he talks, it's just like.
Lights up. I'm not as good as him.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He's
Got one?
He never got one.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, but
Thank you so much.
yep.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hey, what's your name?
Shane.
Shane. Thanks, Shane. Appreciate you, Shane.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll be around all day.
Okay, thank you.
Do they have bottles of water or anything like that?
We have water, but no bottles.
Okay, so
Shane was just telling me they were Coca-Cola was supposed to drop off, like, you know, they're one of the support. They're supposed to drop off cans of Coca-Cola by Cameron and stuff. Didn't happen.
you got a jug out there with no cups.
Right. Oh,
Is that what you're saying?
no. I don't know.
I don't think.
Yeah, this cups.
I just do what I'm told. There's Mr. Ogletree. Men's heavyweight. And I think that gives us everybody.
As long as Scott's got everything
Division now.
in the app, we're ready. Okay?
So now if we go into lifting, we're starting with flight B.
Let's make sure we tell our competitors,
There's our
right,
first lifter.
not to stand in this
It's already
area,
got Dante's
right,
lift, so
after
we
they
gotta go
compete,
back
go
up
back
to-
over here,
So see how he's
or
already
in the
got
warm-up
it
area, because we don't
So
want
we just
folks to
voted
be in
his
the line
name
of
in
sight
there.
of the
It starts a certain, now it'll
cameras.
start. Yep, so now we're gonna start with the,
Yes, they give the weights, and then they can go back.
we're all good?
Yeah,
Yeah,
warm up.
took her like
Okay?
30 seconds.
But we don't want folks
And then she told me
gathering
to
right
get out of the
here.
way.
You know what I mean? They're gonna be back on the other side of that. Okay?
She's our new technical official.
Yes. No, because we need someone who knows this. We have
Well, I think we need that closer on the single
So,
because you're going to use that too, right?
delegate your responsibility.
Our powerlifting IT person. That is who you are. There you go.
I was thinking more.
You want closer to this one?
Well,
My weight is probably, honestly, I have no idea. No, it isn't. I know,
You know whose stuff this is?
it used to be 142.
Yeah, we don't want this in line of cameras and stuff, right?
145.
So,
A pound of baby.
you can put it at the desk up there, just tell them Ray said it's okay. Or you can hang it up outside.
Unless you've been on a scale that can prove it.
No. So the camera's going to be right in here, and then over there, and then it's going to have a floater.
You can do the bar, and you think you can do more. Remember, that's 10 more pounds. Okay.
Hang on, hold on.
Do the bar.
Where's Ray?
Yeah.
So how we're gonna get started, and then I'm out.
Okay.
I lift 50 and I go.
Well, actually, that's
how
why I
they
opened it
do
up.
the ceremonial
Nobody
first
was
bench?
using it, you know?
You should come out and do the ceremonial first bench.
No.
Do it if you want me to.
I'd love to see it. I think it'd be great.
Oh, we're getting ready to get started.
You know how they throw out that ceremonial first pitch in baseball? We're going to do our ceremonial first lift, and guess who it is? All right. Where's all my officials? Come on, Ray and Mike. We'll be the officials for this one.
Yeah.
It's going to get super strict, too.
Oh!
We're calling this one tight.
Ashley?
Hey, if the cameras aren't rolling, let's get this one on.
Break your butt into it.
Okay, I'm doing it.
All right. All right.
You got it.
Let's cheer on, y'all! Let's cheer on! Yeah!
Yes, you're strapping me in. What do you mean are you strapping me in?
Brandon, we captured this? Okay.
So before Ashley lifts, I'm going to go over the rules when she's doing what she's doing, okay? The rules of the bench. Ashley.
Yeah. Yes. I have a pair there too. Yes, sir.
So if you're going to use
No, those aren't
strapping on here,
No, these are.
you can use
I thought
both
those.
of one strap. Yes. No, you won't. Just a little bit.
Is the computer okay?
Okay, we have an athlete that's having a trauma here.
All right. Excuse me, my man.
Oops. Okay, that's probably a good idea.
Okay, again, we're going to strap in here. You use two straps anywhere but over the knees, from here down to the ankle. One or two straps. One the butt. So when you're at the bar, there's a rule about the grip. It can't be any wider than 81 centimeters. So you can be this wide. As a judge, I can't see that hash mark there. You can actually be anywhere in here out to there. But it's not conducive to a good bench to be this close, okay? All right, then she's going to grab the bar. And what we do is lift when ready. She's going to bring up the arm's length and hold it there until it's stationary.
Somebody take a glass. It takes a village.
For me it does. Right, lift.
Up over the chest, bring it over the chest. Hold it till I say start. Start. Just stop and back up. That was perfect. We're going up. Oh, yeah.
All right, we go right to 135 pounds from there.
Or press. You gotta wait for him to say go back up. He said go back up.
He said come down, stop, and go back up. He didn't say give a command.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And the whole re-rack, that rack is, that rack's not safe to re-rack by yourself.
Oh no, right. Once you bring it up, then spotter should rack it for you. Is that you, Brandon? Is that you? That's not you? That's them? Okay. Okay. I went to sleep. Yeah.
She's a show off today.
He is back.
Some people's kids.
John, what you working with? Hey, what I need to do.
What you looking for? Oh,
Oh, the TV did.
yeah. Hold on. All right, wherever you need to go to from there.
No. No.
That is 85 pounds on the bar. So now remember, you're going to get two commands. First one is start. Next one is rack. You bring it out, start whenever you're ready. When you hear start, you can go whenever you're ready. Bring it down, pause, push it up, hold it there. And then they're going to say rack, then you put it in, okay?
So one more thing, you can have assistance if you need it to get it off the rack. I'm going to give Ashley, she doesn't need it, but I'm going to show you what to do. So let's move ready. And then I'm going to place it over your chest, hold that, hold it. Start.
Mike, that's it.
Lead from the front, yo.
Hey, I just want to clarify something with the rack because this is not a normal bench.
All good?
I just want to clear something with the racking process because it's not a normal
Just remember,
bench to rack
anytime
on.
we
Y'all will
come
grab
out of
the
it,
weight so that way
that's the
nobody
full
has to
screen
go
right
coming
there.
back.
So the only thing we'll need to do is go to weigh-ins if we need to. So if we need to change the rack height,
So you don't have to wait for a command to
but
press.
we should be.
Unusual.
Yeah, I think everybody got on. So the only thing you'll probably have to do is go here and change a lifter if we
But there's no command
hit
for
red
that.
or green for the wrong person. Otherwise, remember, everything moves automatically for you.
Well, lots is clear.
Yep.
Too bad we didn't have Ashley let her be on the board.
And we might still add her in there as our guest lifter. We could enter her as a guest lifter.
Well, he'll help you lift off. Start, come down, and the judge is supposed to take it. Okay. So you come down, and that's split second. They don't want you there long. They just want you down much less. Then they'll take the press. That's where you go.
That's what I thought.
Start. See, she didn't wait for my say that.
There you go, there you go, there you
So I'm going to be the bad guy here. That was a good lift, but she didn't wait for my signal.
Yes, it would have been a
Okay, it would
DQ.
be a-
I had to demonstrate that.
That was way to demonstrate. Two good ones and one bad one. I like it.
There we go. Blackmail, huh? All right.
There you go.
I will say, I have to say a little thing. You see that tremolo thing there? When we pack for Valor games, we do things in order now.
Sneak by you guys.
Because we have to lift, she'll be on my leg, on the second shelf.
Yes.
And I'll say, pull it down, I'll hit it with my hands, and I'll bring it back down.
It is. It's on the Bridge to Sports YouTube channel. Well, it might not be on yet. I'm sneaking right behind you. No, you're good. Oh, this is going to be easy.
Yeah.
Camera's on you. I see
No,
all
no,
the
no,
rules.
no.
You two are having a conversation, so we're trying to capture that, get both your audio.
So
Oh, okay.
the flights are just going to be on there, right? So I'm going to have them to look at that board for when you're lifting.
Yeah, but it'll only show the flight that's
The
up.
flight that's up.
Yeah, yeah. Can we get a printout? If I email this to somebody, can we get it printed
Email it
out?
to me.
Huh?
Email it to me.
Email it to you?
Yes.
Okay, let me go do that right now, and I'll send it to you. If you can get a printout, then we can hang it up, and then people will know what flight they're in. Okay.
Somebody else is being commented.
Give me 1 second. Let me hop on here for 1 second. I'm going to email him all
Hey,
the
Dylan.
flights so he can
Dylan.
print it out.
Can
Anyway.
we're gonna send Scott's gonna send me or
Oh,
you
the wrist wraps?
an email with the flights.
Okay, need me to print it?
Yeah.
Send it to me.
Okay.
I didn't
Let me,
know.
what, tell Scott. He's sitting down in the blue shirt. Tell me your email address.
Hold on. We're going to print out all the flights and hang them up so people will know where they're at. Okay, give me 1 second.
What's this? Yeah.
Make sure I know where I'm saving this. Dude, I do stuff and then all of a sudden I'm like, where did that just go? What is the wireless here?
I took these screens out of the office. Can I
Okay.
see that?
Yeah, I wonder what the case is.
I mean, you know.
I love when you put should in front of it.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite qualifier right there. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I don't need
Brandon
to
said
log
they
in.
needed a couple of screens, right? And he talked to Edwin. Edwin told him where to go to get the screens.
That really
I
is
said,
not a
man,
good start.
I just grab the screens that I use.
Okay, I don't need
Right?
Zoom. I just need.
Are we live now?
Yeah, we're live right now. It's on the it's on the Duke Rec web. Yeah, I might be. We had sent straight to the British Sports. We went to the Duke Rec, so we have access to that. So if you type Duke Rec, you'll be able to find those.
I don't really. When I type, it's not really hunt and peck. It's more like search and destroy.
Yes, that's it. Thank you. That's our one. Yes.
So you're gonna put it on both of us.
Yeah.
Stop. Mike?
You may have to back off.
Powerlifter? Yep. Para powerlifter. What is happening here? Oh, I'm not connected.
Okay, go back to that.
Okay. Better? Okay. Sorry.
Is this a Mac or a HP?
HP. Windows. Yep. Why is that Zoom keep popping up?
No. I just had to register the device.
It's an ID10T error on my part.
Okay, now start.
All right.
Yeah, that means y'all should stay.
It still won't let me do it.
I got both of you in the shot now.
So what we have to do is sit back here?
Please try back to.
Yeah, just stay right there.
No, I put it on Duke when I registered.
I just both of you in the shot so I can see what you both look like.
Gotcha. So you sit up back here?
Oh yeah, I saw it when I mean, look at all this, man. This is a real video, right? Look at how far this is going, right?
My microphone.
We were never registered. Connected open. Okay.
So I can back it off a little bit. Play.
There we go. Yeah, if you can make maybe 3 copies of it, then we can hang them on the post on the wall over there. Pardon me? No, it's the actual flights. Nope. Yes, sir. Yeah, they're just hanging up. They're gonna go print the flights. Hey, you guys, we're gonna print out. So this is the first. Oh, that's none of that. That's my personal email. Awkward. There's Hunter. All right. So what you guys are gonna see here. This is the first flight. So these are the people that should be warming up right now, getting ready to go. If you don't see your name on here, you're either going to be on the second or third flight. We're going to hang up some sheets over on the walls over there in a few minutes. You'll be able to see if you're in that second flight or the third flight. That'll tell you when you should start warming up. But if you see your name up here right now, you should be ready to go in the next 5-10 minutes, okay? All right. Yes, ma'am. You are not on the first flight.
So I suggested when I Zoom that we use chat picture.
Get your passing word. Gary Fagan. Audrey Ogletree. Raymond Curtis Smith. Joanne.
Oops, sorry. I bet you were trying to see that, aren't you?
Oh yeah, that's a comment.
Joseph. Jerry Wayne Padgett, Jeremy Fuller. First flight.
Yep.
My bad if I put your name.
Yeah. Yep. Right. Right.
So let.
Yep.
No, I'm good.
It's only good for the first lift. It's to tell them what flight they're in. That's all it is.
Yeah, I'm rolling, but not.
So like Dante made the first.
You don't. Not here.
No, Dante's first.
No. Those. They have it in Cameron. I mean, in South Hall, but
Where's Hunter?
they didn't bring any food here. That's a suggestion for next time. You know?
No, Hunter was already. I had him in the right flight. I just didn't have his rack height. Because he weighed in last night with us.
Where's Ash?
Hunter's got a TBI, yeah.
You said big country? Yeah. Big country. My man, hooray.
Chance to work with all these guys.
Oh yeah, tell them where they are. Yeah,
Who
for
runs
sure,
this
let 'em know.
facility?
Right outside the weight room. Go back up here, past the lockers to the left. So our restrooms are by.
Sorry. Excuse me.
Want my autograph, Frank?
Yes, I would like that. Do you have snacks for the athletes somewhere?
They were given snacks in their bags.
All right, that's everybody's rack height.
And
Joseph
some up at registration.
Orozco.
Okay, that's a shop hall?
Pardon?
Shop hall or Cameron?
It is in
We have an
Cameron.
opener for him.
Bring it down.
No,
Well,
because
if he's not
the
here
country
by
was
the
just
time we get
asking.
to it, then it's a
And so
scratch, so.
it might be something we might want to do in the future, is to have a table
All
with
right, cool.
snacks,
So
you
you
know?
should be good.
I can get
So
that.
at this point, it's all red and green, red and
Yeah.
green.
Did you see this name here?
Hit the number, it'll automatically, as soon as Dante's done lifting, that'll flash.
Okay, when I got a table for him too.
And as soon as he tells you, as soon as you hit the number and
Okay.
hit enter, it'll
Fantastic.
move right
All
down
right,
to
thank you.
Linda, then Massenberg. So you really, red and green, and enter a number, hit a number and enter. And if you need me, I'll be over on the other side
They're
of the
gonna
room.
bring
I
some
can't
snacks
help you, so.
I'm on it, dude. I'm on it.
Really, all you have to remember
You
is
got
if
it.
if something goes wrong, you just go back to the name of the person, and then you can correct it.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I made him out, he's still in the bag.
There's 10 in all of them. Yep, 10, 10, and I think 10, 9, and 10. Yep, the flights, yep. All right. Good.
Linda's first?
No, Dante.
Dante.
Yep. So the order, the way it's going to go, Dante, you're going to be our first lifter. Linda, you're on deck. Richard, you're in the hold. Care, you're 3 out. And then we'll go from there. Okay? Cool. So y'all should be warmed up.
Okay, let me get through
Yep,
this.
I would just
too. I wanna
hang
welcome
them.
all your
Yeah, like on the post.
Okay.
Hey guys, here's the flights. They'll be hung up on the post right over there. Thank you, sir. Nice job.
Sorry, Mike, it's yours.
Oh, were you saying something, Mike?
I forget now.
All right, Mike, the floor is yours.
Okay. I want to welcome all your warriors to Valor 2025 Southeast Powerlifting portion. Like a lot of old faces, a lot of new faces. I mean, you're all old, but
I'm pretty, I don't know about y'all.
As we already said, there's 3 flights today. There's about 9 or 10 in each flight. We'll go through all 3 lifts for each lifter for the first flight, then the second, then the third one. We went over the rules on the bench. Some things too you want to do is you want to try and arch your chest up, give you a higher chest. You want to be as tight as you can on the bench. If you're benching on the open bench, you're going to have your feet flat on the floor. If that's trouble, we're going to put a plate under your feet so they're flat. You can use 2 straps on the bench. One's okay too. Let's see. The grip, we went over that. There's hash marks on these bars. There's 2 of them. It's this, the one that's closest together. You can't be wider than that, so as a judge, and by the way, I'm judging you today, okay? You're gonna make sure your hand covers that hash mark. If you want, you could be anywhere here, but you can't be wider than the hash mark. It'll be inside of it. I don't know if anybody's noticed that's been here before, how beautiful the gym is now. Not that it wasn't great before, but there's a lot of new stuff here, new bars, new equipment, great stuff. So once you're called to the bench, and your weight, the weight you're lifting is told, you're going to have 2 minutes to get to the bench, get yourself set and start your lift, okay? When you're done your lift, please give it your next attempt. You're coming over to Lynn here, and you're going to give her the next attempt. If you need chalk's right here. It's a little different than just the bar. You just put your hand under here and just use one like that. It's really quite good.
One foot stick goes a long way.
A long way. It'll be on there for days. If you miss your first attempt or whatever attempt it is, you can go up and wait, but we suggest you stay with that weight to start. Okay. Did I miss anything, Scott?
You were awesome, sir.
Listen to that.
He's on point.
Because he's my roommate, he don't want me to mess up the room. Okay, let's get started.
All right, first off, that's a common.
First lifter, the bar weight is 45 pounds. Let's get ready.
Always a lot of pressure when you're the first lifter.
Most definitely.
So I'm really expecting you to take me, put you on to in your height, just so you know. No problem. And if you need a link on, if the blind athlete needs help placing their hands,
Trying
we'll
to
do
dig
whatever.
last night when they were weighing in. Everybody was trying to get out of there last night.
All right, first lift, 45 pounds. It's the bar weight.
Remember the command, start right. Start. Right.
There you go. And that was just, I think she was waiting for a press command.
She was waiting for a command.
Yep.
She was.
Yep. So the bar goes up and down at the chest. And
Which is something that you would normally hear.
Yep.
The command to lift, the press.
It was just, they changed that rule a couple years ago at the para level. They used to say, the head referee would say press, and they eliminated that about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So now it's, a lot of people are still, they're waiting for that command. Now they can get one, they just have to ask the official to give it to them.
Okay. Makes sense. But the idea is to pause.
Yep.
And then press.
Yep. As long as the bar, really the rule is the bar has to come down and become motionless. So there's not a time frame that it has to stop. It just actually has to be motionless without sinking into the chest. All right, here comes Linda Smith. Yep, it's on the bottom. It says rack. Her rack height would be, Linda's would be rack height 1. Yep. It says rack 1, which is what the height was. That is what. Yeah, if it says 16, 17, 18, or 19, it means they're over there. That's the height. Correct. Yep.
I think it's a good thing for Cooper.
He's a hell of a ball player.
There's a lot of cameras going on here. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, wow.
Hey, excuse me. You're in a direct line of Quebec.
That's fantastic. Great setup. Great facility. You guys are doing awesome on this. I'm gonna have you guys come in and do my next birthday party. I get all the angles for it. You get, I'm sure there's a DJ set up somewhere in here, right?
Second lifter.
All right, so Linda Smith is our lifter now. Mike going over a couple of the rules. These first lifters, like I said, it's hard to be the first ones to start off because you're the guinea pig. Everybody else gets to see what they're supposed to be doing.
And for some of them, they haven't lifted in this environment. So.
There you go. That was a good start in the rep. Good lift.
All right.
So now technically the lifters are supposed to, within the next minute, go up and give their next attempt. So.
They'll talk to Lynn.
Yep.
And give her that number.
Yep.
Need help on the bench, remind us.
All right, so Richard Massenberg is our next lifter, also attempting 45 pounds. So you'll see a lot of the same repeated weights. Everybody just trying to get a number in.
You want your first lift to be good.
Right, right. Pardon? Hot Wheels?
What's his CEO?
So who are you at?
Jerry Wayne.
Jerry? Jerry Wayne, Hot Wheels.
You have snacks? But you can set those right in front of me. It would be a grave mistake on your part, but thank you. Oh, I am not beyond a donut for a call. I'm just saying. All right, Richard Massenberg's up, 45-pound attempt. We'll want to remind Dante to get his next attempt in. Touch. And press. There you go. Good lift. And you're seeing him holding that bar still at the chest for a little extra time, waiting for that press command.
Wait for the command.
Which isn't a problem. They can hold it there as long as they want, as long as it doesn't go up or down, or you see the bar start tilting.
That's what happened to our first lifter.
Yep.
She held it, but then she held it too long.
Yep. All right, Carrie's up. I know I heard Carrie say that this, I believe I heard her say last night at registration that this was her first attempt at powerlifting for the sport at this
Wonderful.
Here at Valor Games.
Good to have. She's starting off 50 pounds.
You know, the great thing about the sport is it's a really easy sport to try out. You know, everybody's seen a bench press. You kind of, there's no moving parts. It's not like trying to hit a forehand in tennis.
Yeah. You're right. It is an easy sport. And it's supported worldwide.
Yep.
Yeah, good luck. But you really shouldn't hit the outbreak to the left. It's the first attempt.
That's very good.
Okay, I'm going to do your next. 55 on the bar. I don't know. No. No way, sit down. You're excited, aren't you? Yeah. Audrey, get up here.
So Audrey's going to use the able-bodied bench on this one. And this is kind of unique. You don't get to see this a lot. There's a para bench where the legs are up, and then this is our traditional able-bodied bench that you see at the gym for the athletes that can put their legs down. And it's really an athlete choice event here.
And she's actually going to use a pair of 25-pound plates to give her a little added lift for the legs.
For our more vertically challenged athletes.
Yes. Yeah.
It's great to have the option at an event like this, too.
She's getting comfortable on the bench, getting set. Hand placement. You follow instructions.
And that weight should be 55.
The bar's not
We're
loaded.
going to get some weight on the bar first for her.
Okay, bar loaded for Audrey, 55 pounds. And 0.
All right, here goes Audrey Ogletree, 55 pounds. There's that unrack.
Start. Bracket.
She's got to get a no lift. She didn't touch her chest with the bar on that one, and you can see that from here. Which I think she just found out.
Yeah, she wasn't clear on the rules.
No problem with the weight though, so you can see it wasn't a strength issue.
Right.
Would you like to take sunrise?
So now Audrey has the option. She can go up in weight if she wants, because that was obviously not a strength issue, or she could repeat that weight and just to make sure that she gets it right with the commands next time.
She's going over to the score table now.
So it'll be interesting to see what she chooses to do on that one.
I think it's so funny.
All right, Raymond Curtis is up.
But the one that's the most important has only one tight end.
Saw Raymond yesterday had a great day with air rifle, and I saw him medal. I think it was a silver or bronze medal in air rifle.
I'm going to change it out.
Exciting. I heard they had a good day yesterday.
Do the finesse sports first and come in and do the strength sports the next day.
He's getting his hand placed on the barbell.
And again, choosing to use that able-bodied bench, kind of like you'd see in the gym.
Start.
Good descent.
Press.
Really good lift there from Raymond. That's probably the best we've seen anybody with bringing it down, holding it, and then coming right back up.
But he did receive the command.
There's no
press.
press signal. But if you're going to be sitting there with all there, I'm going to give you the signal. And if you want it, let me know. But there's really no press signal. You decide.
So if you want the press signal,
You
just
can
let
request it,
Michael
yeah.
know.
Well, it's just a reminder that, you know, the rules aren't there to get you, to jump out, surprise you. They are what they are, and if you have any issues with them, let us know. And, you know, most of the judges will make sure that
And it's actually there so you can be judged fairly.
Exactly, exactly. We're not trying to get you in this sport.
It's just a little bro. You already, you know that. Really no longer up on the way down.
All right, Joanne's up 75 pounds. Waiting for second attempts for a couple of the athletes now. Probably need to remind Dante and Audrey to go in and turn in their next attempts.
Yeah. They haven't done so, not just yet.
So technically, when we get into, you know, more competitive settings, the athletes only have 1 minute to turn in that next attempt before it automatically goes up. I believe they go up 2.5 kilos, so maybe 5 pounds automatically. I think that's what Lynn is letting Mike know right now. We have a couple of people we need attempts, second attempts from.
Next up is Joseph Roscoe. How was that?
All right, Joanne going for 75 pounds. Jumping up a little bit here.
Start.
Oh no.
Is everybody okay if I give another 10?
She heard the start command, and that's so disheartening. You go to begin your lift, and then all of a sudden you hear the jump say start, and you're like, oh. And the automatic reaction is to put it back and start again.
Yeah.
And I think the judge was awfully lenient in that one, letting him.
Start.
There we go.
Press.
Oh, yes.
There you go. There you go.
That was an easy lift for Joanne.
Yeah.
Thank you.
She got support from the crowd.
Yep. And again, it's not a gotcha sport. This is one of those sports where everybody really, truly cheers everybody on. You just get excited to see other people benching and getting their number.
Well, you want to encourage folks to reach their goals.
Yeah. Now I know Joseph missed any kind of setup this morning, so we may have a scratch.
Okay. Then we're going with Jerry has it. Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels is on.
Hot Wheels with a Z. So Jerry's going to jump. So Jerry will go to the able body or the para bench on this one. And you're going to see Jerry's jumping up into a 140-pound opener.
Jerry's been here previous years.
Jerry's done this before. This is not Jerry's first rodeo.
Not his first. Jerry's been the life of the party. He's going to get it started right.
And next up is Jeremy Fuller.
Jerry got the crowd support behind him for sure.
We got the camera view from over there. Excellent.
So again, one of the great things on the para bench, especially for our spinal cord injuries and our wheelchair users, the straps provide a lot of stability on the bench, allowing them, with the 6-foot bar up there, it's really easy to create a lot of side-to-side motion. The straps really create a lot of stability for the hips to keep them secured.
Yeah.
You'll oftentimes see them spreading those legs as wide as they can and then strapping them down. I don't think Jerry's going to need any assistance with that one.
Not with this weight.
Yep.
Press.
That's textbook right there.
There we go.
Now, an interesting thing on that, you saw Jerry with his thumbs sitting out. So in competitive para-powerlifting or para-style powerlifting, a false grip like that or a thumbless grip is actually illegal. You do have to wrap the thumbs around the bar.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Mike will remind him of that on his next attempt. All right. And Jeremy with the big jump to end this last lifter of this flight.
I'm sure there might be exceptions for those that can't wrap their thumb around the bar.
So actually, in para-style powerlifting, again, referring to the Paralympics and competitive para sports, that's actually one of the requirements. If you cannot wrap your thumb around the bar or you have a limb amputation, they're actually not able to compete. And so there are only a handful of qualifying disabilities on the Paralympic side. So if you cannot wrap your thumb around the bar, that actually disqualifies you from that. And it's a safety issue for most people. You've got to be able to control that bar. So you'll see a lot of hand injuries or prosthetic limbs that unfortunately, you can do it at an event like that's why we love Valor Games. It's an opportunity for them to come here and they can compete.
That's great.
But on the Paralympic side, where we coach, that is actually one of the rules.
I wouldn't be able to do it myself. I can't wrap my thumb around the bar.
It's interesting, when I learned I started benching back in the mid-80s.
Yeah. I remember those years too.
Yeah. So I actually, I learned with a thumbless grip, and and that's how I was taught. And there's some advantages to that, and I've done it for 40 years. So it's for me, it's really hard to turn around and I do all my training with the thumb wrapped around now, but I do it for my athletes because if they see me do it, it's a million questions. But there was a time in the 70s and 80s that was a really popular grip because it lines the weight over the floor.
Well, telling on myself, that's when I started. So
Yeah, I was going to say,
that's how I learned.
we know. All right, here comes Jeremy, 180 pounds.
Easy.
Wow, that was easy. Be interesting to see where Jeremy goes with his second lift. Well, that's the end of the first flight. So, that was great. We only saw a couple of lifters not get their openers, and it was on technical things. Nobody missed it because they didn't have enough strength.
Right.
We had one scratch. So, Dante.
Where's
You
Dante?
need to turn in your second attempt. Go turn in your second attempt. So Mike is noticing right now that we have a couple of lifters who did not turn in second attempts and need them before Linda goes. Before Linda goes.
We need second attempts with everybody that lifted today. Except for one.
Audrey and Joseph.
So Dante and Audrey. Joseph was a scratch.
And Richard Meisenberg is next at 55 pounds.
So we're going to go out of order a little bit here because Dante turned in their second attempt late. So Linda's going to go, and then we'll see Dante at the same weight. Gotcha. Take that second attempt. Audrey still needs to go turn in her second attempt so that she gets on the board. Otherwise, she's going to get skipped. Yep.
Okay, look, we're ready. Remember to touch your chest. Start. Press. Racket.
Look at that, see? And again, that second lift, they're in that flow. They know what they need to do.
No technical issues there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Dante McCommons next. 50 pounds.
So Dante's second attempt will be at 50 pounds.
And this was so again, this is one of those times where we see it was a technical issue, not a strength issue. So even though she missed her first lift, she's going to go up in weight. And hopefully this time we'll listen to all the commands.
Yeah, weight wasn't the issue.
Yep, not at all. I think she went up and down with it about 3 reps in that last one. And there's that crowd support again. Everybody cheers when you're under the bar. There we go. There we go. See?
Yep. No problems there.
And now she's going to go turn in her third attempt. We use the Jedi mind trick on you folks.
It worked.
It does.
That should hurt you.
You get into that heat of competition, you're so excited that you just got the bar off your chest, you're ready to go and forget that there's another step to this. Yep. All right, and Linda got her lift, so now we got Richard Massenberg up. All right, I'll tell you right now, here's my prediction. Everybody in this round will get a good lift. You've gotten the nerves out of the way. You know what the commands are going to be. Everybody's pretty comfortable with what they're going to do right now. I would not be surprised to see everybody in this round get a good lift.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
They got through the jitters. They
Yep.
got through the,
Yeah.
the questions and the technical issues. Now we're just going to have fun.
And again, the great thing about that parabench, you know, there are Soviet studies that have shown that up to 60% of your bench drive can come from your legs.
Oh, absolutely.
So having those legs down on the ground, it really is a huge advantage. So you take our wheelchair users, our W amputees, legs up. Now we've evened that playing field for everybody. See, another easy lift for Richard.
Good lift for Richard.
Sounds like most of my mornings. A little bit of a stutter, and then I get going.
That's folks most mornings.
All right.
Every day is something new. And today we got powerlifting here at Duke University.
Great facility here, Ray.
Valor Games, Bridgestone. Valor Games 2025.
Nice job, young man. Nice job.
You feel good? There you go. Keep it going.
You know, it's interesting how often I hear that, and in fact, I have a tattoo that says you are stronger than you think you are. And I have to remind athletes of that. So often we get underneath the bar with the weights, and we start thinking big weights, and you psych yourself out. When in reality, you are way. If I didn't tell you what was on that bar and said, "Oh, don't worry, it's a lightweight," you would jump on that bar and knock that out, and probably not even thinking about it. You know, it's a lot of times we just take ourselves out of the lift before we even got into it.
You're going to get your mind and body to work together.
Exactly. But that's what's great about it. It's you get under that bench and you bench press, and it's not just building muscles and getting strong. It's you're building confidence. You're building that so many mental aspects to the sport that improve you. You know, it's great to get on there and discover, hey, I can do this, and it applies to so many other things other than just lifting things. Make no mistake, it's nice to be able to lift things. So, unless your neighbor is moving, in which case, I don't want anybody to know I can lift heavy stuff.
Who's next up?
It is.
Okay.
Yep.
So Hunter's pretty far down still.
Hunter's in another. So if you look over on the walls, we have the flights posted. Over on the other side is posted.
Okay.
All right, Audrey's up. And Audrey missed her first lift due to a technical issue, so I bet you she bounces back. Look at that, see?
Good job, Audrey.
Nice job, Audrey.
Audrey?
Audrey's going to go turn in her next attempt before she sits down.
Let's go talk to her coaches first.
All right.
Joanne had a very nice lift.
She really did. She looked really strong.
Yeah.
I suspect this probably will not be any more difficult for her either.
She's prepared to pull this.
It's great. You can see the guys everybody's starting to strategize a little bit. I heard Hot Wheels over there trying to figure out, hey, what are you doing next? And now the guys are trying to figure out who's going where.
In fact, you're competing against yourself, but you find yourself competing against others as well.
I think of it less of like a competition and more of pushing yourself to a little incentive to try just a little bit more. Wow. That was an absolute smoke show right there.
Her form was really nice,
Oh,
too.
yeah, absolutely. I'm guessing Joanne spent some time in a gym previously.
Yeah. It's a good place to be.
All right, Mr. Raymond is up. And then Hot Wheels is on deck. And then Jeremy, looks like Jeremy's going to try and go over 200 pounds to close out this the second lift, second attempts of this flight.
Raymond Curtis at 90 pounds.
Crowd getting behind Mr. Raymond. Great idea. You see Mike getting them lined up on the bench, making sure those shoulder blades are not only pulled back, but even on the bench so that that bar comes up evenly. You get those shoulder blades cockeyed, and you're going to see that bar come up a little crooked.
Start. Press.
Nice job.
Straight there.
Really good lift. Really good lift. Now, you saw the bar come up a little unevenly, and again, the higher the levels you reach in the sport, the more of those kind of things the judges will call the lift. So if the bar comes up unevenly, if it locks out at a different time, those kind of things you'll see in the higher levels, as you move up. But here, that was just a great lift for what we want. Came down, touched his chest, paused, went all the way up. Hot Wheels is over on the bench, getting strapped in. He's taking a 20-pound jump on this one. So that means he felt pretty confident after that first attempt.
He felt good. He looked good, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Start. Press.
There we go.
Wow. Great lift by Jerry. Not quite sure how many more warm-ups Jerry's going to take.
It looked quite easy for him.
We should let him know that he's only got one more competition attempt left here. And he's going to take another 20-pound jump there, so I think he knows where he was trying to head.
And then we start the third set.
He's feeling good.
All right. Jeremy with the biggest lift we've seen in the first one, over 200 pounds.
Here we go. Jeremy at 205.
Gotta take your own back. How about they spotters there, huh?
Car's loaded.
All right, our spotters and loaders doing a great job making sure that the bar is not only loaded properly, but is even. The rack height is all set for them. Again, as they attach the straps, there are two straps there. They can use one strap, they can use two straps, or they can use no straps if they opt not to. I think it's always a great idea to have them on there.
At least one.
All right, crowd getting into the first 200-plus pound attempt by Jeremy. There you go. How'd he gets a thumbs up from Mike. Good lift. Hey, not to toot my own horn, but that was exactly what we said. We get the jitters out of the way, we get clarification of how we lift, and everybody was successful on that round. And now we'll start seeing people really push that third attempt. They're going to start going for their maxes. They're going to start going to see how much they can do. And that's the way it should be right now.
Yeah, I want to see something, right? I want to see something.
All right, here comes Dante McCobb, starting us off with our third attempts with 55 pounds.
All right, here she goes.
There you go.
Good lift.
Good lift. A little quick going
It
back
was
to
quick.
it was going back to the rack, but I think Mike gave her a good call there. And you can hear this is where the grunt and the groaning is going to start here. When you start hitting that max attempt.
Yeah, we had it.
Yep, but it was a good lift. Great job.
Both sides went up nice and even.
Yep.
Look good.
So again, the way the competition works, they get 3 attempts. Dante's heaviest attempt that was successful was 55. So at the end of it, that 55 pounds is what we'll use to figure out what place everybody's in. All right, Carrie Figgins. Got the paparazzi in the first row recording. Crowds behind her.
60-pound lift.
So, and again, Mike setting up, making sure those hands can't be any wider than 81 centimeters. So the rings on the bar cannot be inside of your index finger. Good. Look at that. No lift from the judge. And hard to see what Mike called on that one.
You couldn't see it from our vantage point.
So we move on to Richard. Richard's going to go up to 75. But that you can see from Carrie's effort, that's exactly what we were talking about. Now it's time to really push the weight. There was a plan to get to that 60 by her, why we started 50, 55. When you miss that, that's okay. She got the weight up. She knows she's strong enough, but now going back into the gym, we know what we're going to work on. We're going to work on control and making sure we're holding that, being able to execute the lift.
The bar's being loaded for Richard.
75 pounds. Good unwrap.
Sorry. Put the bar down. We're going to give another attempt. Really, I think I screwed him up back here. So, no, I didn't screw it. So, Richard, move in. So, a suggestion to everybody. When you get on the bench, in the bar, have your eyes under the bar. That's about the right spot for most people. Eyes under the bar.
So when you're lining yourself up with the eye in the bar.
And Mike's given that advice specifically because when you unrack that bar, as you're bringing it down and pressing it up, you want to make sure you're not hitting those uprights, and the uprights, the lips on those can stick out 2-3 inches. You want to make sure you're not so far back that when you take it out and come down, you're catching that or pressing up, you're hitting it. So getting in a position before you even press is really important. There we go.
Big difference.
There you go. And again, the difference in just how he set up and where he was all the difference in being successful.
Having your eyes under the bar is what you want.
Yep. And all of those things, having that shoulders back, lined up evenly on the bar, eyes under the bar, hands even on the bar. All of those things are things you want to check off before you even start pressing, because those are the things that'll help you be successful. But Richard with a good lift, went 3 for 3 today.
Eyes under the bar, really low.
Audrey going up to 75 pounds on this one. But she had a really strong 60-pound lift on the second attempt.
Really good on the second attempt. Yep.
I think this will be a good number for her.
Linda Smith is next with 80 pounds.
The first lift, I was like, oh my God.
Good descent. That was a really good lift.
Very good concentration.
So often you'll see an athlete just drop that bar to that chest, and Audrey controlled that bar all the way down, which made it a lot easier to stop and then change directions. Great control of the bar.
Exhale and get that bar up.
Once this flight ends, we'll go right into the next flight. I think they're posted, right?
Yes, sir. Mike reminding everybody if you're in the next flight, they should be warming up, and that's kind of a nice thing. If you're lifting later, you can wait a little longer to start your warm up, so you're not all set and then sitting around.
We have additional racks for the warm up for those that want to warm up.
Hey, listen.
Not sure who we have on the bench right now. Linda's on the bench? Yep, okay.
All right, sister.
Linda with a big jump, 30-pound jump on this one.
How do they score?
Wow. Now, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see if he gives it to her. He did say good.
What did you say?
When she brought that bar down to that chest, she brought it down the opposite of what we were just talking with Audrey. It came down really fast and moved a little bit at the chest, but clearly not enough for the judges to give her a no lift. No problem on the press though, and I think it was so strong when she pressed it. I think everybody looked at that and said she's good. But for a 30-pound jump, great job by Linda. All right, here comes Joanne. Joanne has been strong all day long. 95 pounds.
Start. Press.
There you go. And it's been great to see Linda and Joanne go back-to-back 3 for 3 days.
Yeah.
That's a good day on the bench.
She was a little uneven on one side going up.
And really the key they'll say is as long as it locks out at the same time, I think they'll be okay.
Not a problem.
But again, that brings us back to it's really not how much weight you can lift in this sport, it's how much weight you can control.
That's right.
And then the higher you get in the ranks or the competition levels, the more control they demand of you. And eventually you get to that Paralympic level where we're at, and honestly, it probably took me a year of watching attempts before I could figure out what a good attempt versus a bad attempt was, because the bar was, no pun intended, the bar was so high for what they demanded. You would look at a lift, and coming from the gym like we do, I'm like, hey, they got it up, it's a good lift, and so many little technical things they're looking for.
Understanding the rules is key.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
You have to learn, so your next attempt is a good one.
Raymond with 100 pounds.
Wow.
Good job. Raymond had plenty of strength left for that one. So, you know, that's being new, you know, having not done the event before, I guarantee you, next time he does powerlifting, you're probably going to see him start up around 90, 95 pounds and maybe finish around 120, because there was plenty of gas in the tank there. Hot Wheels getting up for his third attempt, jumping up 20 pounds. And the great thing with the new setup here, you can see exactly how we're going to finish in our men's lightweight division. You know, if Jerry is successful here, that he locks in the silver medal. Jeremy won that gold medal basically with his biggest lift being 205. Nobody was going to catch him. So really, really nice addition seeing the software projection up here. And the spotter's doing a great job to help Jerry. But you know, so Jerry misses that event, that lift, but that is exactly what you want to see. You want to see the guys going after it. You want to see him taking that big lift.
That big leap.
Yeah, he got about halfway up, and unfortunately somebody turned the gravity on high. I don't know why they do that here at Duke.
I don't think there's anything specific to do.
But listen, we're powerlifters. I'm going to look for all. I'm going to blame Duke gravity for a missed lift all day long. Well, no matter where I am, you can go back to Minnesota. I'd blame Minnesota gravity if I was up there too. All right, Jeremy with the big lift today. What would we like to say? 2 plates.
Jeremy's getting strapped in. Bar is loaded. Spotters in place.
Here we go. Good descent. What a great lift.
You had the crowd behind
that. Definitely. And that bar never stopped going up. No matter how slow it goes, as long as that bar keeps going up, nobody's going to stop that lift. Great job by Jeremy. 3 for 3 on the day with the biggest lift of the day, too. Nice job, everybody.
That's the end of the first flight.
Yep.
We'll move right into the second.
Sure. Nope. Flight, there she goes. Flight C. There you go. Boom. All right, here's our men's middleweights, men's and women's middleweights. All right, Harvey Gary's up. We got to remember the athletes are on day 2 of competing. Is that correct?
It's day 2.
So yesterday they had air rifle, was sitting volleyball.
Let's see. Let's take a look at the.
Oh, bocce. Bocce was yesterday. Sitting volleyball. So the athletes have already competed. I guarantee you those sitting volleyball players are feeling it in their shoulders today.
No doubt.
Harvey's going to start the second flight out with 45 pounds.
I go to POA in Charleston. I can do it with my guys.
So, just like we talked about in the second attempts of the first flight, all of these second flight lifters have a huge advantage because they've seen the commands, they know what they need to do, so they're going to come in and again, this I would not be surprised to see everybody be successful on the first attempt because now they know what they need to do. So. We're super excited. We should really cruise through this now. Roy Gray is up. We're going to repeat that 45. They know they need to turn in their second attempt. We should be done here in about 6 minutes.
You're changing
the weight on here.
Want to get right in?
Yeah, let me go.
This is back.
No. Okay. So.
All right.
There's a good lift.
Good luck.
45 pounds for Roy.
Bring these up back. Back 19.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, we'll be in touch. Check out them meetings. Sure. Okay. All right. Okay.
Wow, Roy got in and got his lift done. We didn't even see it.
All right.
He was that good, that fast.
I'll reach out to you.
All right, Whitney's up now.
Hand placements on the bar. She's ready for her lift.
Start. Rest. Let's go.
She's a little fast.
Wow, that was a smoke show lift. But that's what you want your opener to look like. You want to make sure you get one good lift in no matter what. That way you're in the meet.
Jumped over your first hurdle.
Okay. Cadence. Rack 18, 60 back. Yeah, we're going to be on that.
Peanut Avery is up next.
Looking pretty relaxed.
Is that a lifter?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, he is
that is a relaxed young man right there. Just another day at the office.
Peanut at 60 pounds. Receiving instructions on his hand placement. He's getting ready to lift.
Start. Press. Rack.
Here we go.
Good lift there. Good lift by Keenan. And the lifters have the option of having the spotter lift the bar out for them. Conserves effort, protects that shoulder from that awkward position of taking the bar out. So we always suggest to have the big guys in the back help you lift it out if you can.
And you want to have that ball far enough away from
Right.
your rack itself.
Yep.
Yannika's
up.
This is your night to do it, keep me on.
It's interesting to see how close the companion
The service animals, yep. So you often go into the chalk bank. Again, athletes, when your hands get sweaty, you don't want that bar sliding around in your hand any.
I know I'm here. You'll be here in a minute. Good lift.
So some alignment issues for Yannika. She's going to have to, next time she gets on the bench, we're going to have to get her into a better position, and I'm sure Mike and the spotters will move her. One of the difficulties with being visually impaired, it's kind of hard to see where you're lined up.
Yes. Yeah, she hit the J hook, I think.
Yep. And theoretically, the rule is you can make contact as long as it doesn't assist in the lift. So if you're pushed into it and you're kind of climbing up that bar, the official will say no. But incidental contact isn't automatically doesn't automatically eliminate you.
It could hurt you more than it can help you.
Absolutely. There's nothing good about hitting the upright. Hands up.
Okay. Hands back up. Not yet.
Bit of a log jam here at that 60-pound opener, but I think everybody feels confident at that number.
You guys made their lift so far.
Yep.
Very good.
There we go. Great job by Ann. And again, everybody kind of looks like they're in that groove. They know what they're going to hear from Mike and the officials. They know what they need to do. This is what an opening round should look like.
As you predicted, we're moving right along. Three more competitors for the opening round.
I'd love to see the athletes coming through, high fives, handshakes. Again, it's a competitive sport, but there's nobody here who isn't cheering for somebody else when they're under the bar.
Support all around.
Yeah. I always try and tell athletes, when you're in the gym, when you're moving at a weight and you need a spotter, never be afraid to ask somebody, because everybody in the gym is cheering for everybody else. Just even if you're an adapted athlete and your setup's a little strange, most people, they'll jump in and give you a hand. They want to help. So I'd say that is far more the rule than you'll ever experience of people saying no.
That's true. That's true. Folks are willing to help.
Yep. We're all in the gym grinding it out the same way, so. spotters and loaders are kicking butt. They're loading the bar, they're helping with handoffs, they're getting people strapped in. What a great crew here at Duke.
Candace is ready.
£75 opener for Candace. Last minute instructions from her handoff.
Let's go. Press. Right.
That is what it's supposed to look like.
Round it up easy.
All right. Candace might have surprised yourself a little bit with that, with how easy that press was.
Good job, soldier.
All right, Cleveland Dixon.
100 pounds. Mr. Dixon going with 2 straps. And you can place those straps. Pretty much the ruling on the straps is they can be anywhere from mid-ankle joint to a new change this year. That second strap can come up as high as the middle of your hip joint. So you can actually now strap over that, over the pelvis there, which is, again, great for our wheelchair users, our spinal cord injuries, way more stability, double amputees. You're going to see way more stability there, but it also gives you a lot of leverage when you're pressing. All right, Cleveland's got 100 pounds out there. Nice job. Good lift.
Shaky but good leg.
Just got a little shaky, but a good lift.
I think I've been described the same way at times. He's a little shaky, but good. All right, Jabrir starting with our biggest lift from the last flight, starting at 205. Oh no, it was 225 was our biggest lift in the last one, right?
It was.
Okay.
As a final.
Well, you can tell when we move up into the bigger body weights.
Yeah.
Jabrir opting to lift on the able-bodied bench. And then we're jumping back up to second attempts here in the second round already.
He chose 205 for an opener.
Yeah, that was certainly an opener. I think the crowd was also, they're pretty convinced that Jabrir's got a little bit more in him than that opening 205. All right, we're back to the top of the order. Harvey's going to jump up. All right, Mr. Gary rep, successful 45-pound press, jumped up to 55 pounds this time.
Oh, yes.
That's an easy lift there, too.
Now, just got to remember to let Glenn know what their next attempt will be.
Yep.
55 pounds. Board ready.
All right, Roy's up.
Come on, babe.
Charlotte's like a hop, skip, and a jump.
What's good?
South Carolina. That's why it's weird the way Charlotte's.
Yeah, Whitney's
That's why you guys are known as no, that's because that's the first you heard that? I'll find a way to break your all I got is time on my hands. Unless you're getting shot at.
Well, some of these athletes will be competing in another sport after this.
Yep.
Right?
I think archery, did I hear archery today?
Archery is tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Okay.
Here at Duke, there's table tennis,
Oh,
rowing, and wheelchair
basketball? Ah, okay. Yeah, I'm glad they're benching before they do wheelchair basketball. You know, that's really hard on the shoulders, so that would definitely affect their benching. Good descent. Look at that. Great descent, great pause. Just what you want to see in a lift.
A lot of power to lift.
Yep.
You probably add a little more weight to that.
Oh, there's plenty of gas in the tank there for Mr. Gray.
Okay, Whitney's up. 50, 60 pounds on the ball.
Is it there?
Oh, I didn't know what happened when I got here. I was like, why the hell I got the damn ball?
No, but I mean, even before you were conscious, that's what you were saying. I'm just saying, those are the three things masters do.
Hands on the back.
Now come into, especially when you do those like beat up or whatever. It's always those three things, like clockwork, whether or not you remember or not.
Whitney's second attempt, 60 pounds now.
I
believe it was a super fast press on the first one, so don't blink. We may miss this second attempt. I'm not sure she touched her chest. She did.
She got a good lift.
Good lift.
You like ketamine more than morphine? But we carry morphine.
Yes, heavyweight.
Yep.
All right, thanks.
But that's what you always want to see. You want that first attempt to be easy. Second attempt, we're jumping up, getting a little closer to our max, and then sending it full send on that third attempt. Go for it. All right, here comes Ann with the 75-pound attempt, and then Keena, and then Yannicka.
But my assistant,
Crowd getting behind Ann, reminding him it's not a golf tournament, folks. It's okay to yell. Ann with a good 60-pound attempt on her first.
Start. Press.
Good job. Good job, Ann. The crowd definitely approved of that one.
I think she approves of it herself. So we'll put in her last attempt, what that number's going to be. Okay. Keena Avery is up. He's making a 20-pound jump, from 60 to 80 pounds.
First attempt looked really strong, so wouldn't be surprised to see this one go up quickly. He's got those long arms, so you always want a wider grip, shorten that bench stroke a little bit. Yeah, just as easy as the first one.
Did you wait for the command? Same weight?
So Jannika's going to do the same weight going up to 80.
That was a good lift.
Okay. That was a good lift, yeah.
On the deck.
You got just enough room for a companion. Her companion is squeezed in.
He's a good boy. You see Jannika in the leg brace there, the knee brace there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't help but wonder maybe the pair bench isn't a better fit.
You want to have both your feet flat on the ground for stability.
Yeah.
It's lightweight for her.
Good lift for Jannika.
The judge had to think about it, though. She did it so fast.
Yep. All right, Candace is up. And same thing, Candace had a really strong first attempt, so. Yeah.
Candace is ready for her lift?
I remember 75 was ridiculously easy. I don't see any reason 85 won't be.
You're right.
Good, solid attempt on the second. Good lift. There we go.
She claimed it to be scary.
Listen, she came up off that bench smiling. It couldn't have been that scary. I think she knows she had it. All right, bars get loaded for Cleveland, 105, and then Jabir's jumping up 225 for his second attempt.
All right, Cleveland.
Cleveland puts it down. The Brewers will attack. One attempt left.
All
Everything's all strapped in, 105.
Start. Press.
Nice job.
Nice pause, too. It's good.
That goes back to that whole, it's not what you can press, it's what you can control. Cleveland did a great job of controlling that lift the entire way down and up. Good solid lift to build off of. All right. Don't blink. Mr. Lee is about to bench 225.
He had excellent form in his first lift.
Start. Press.
Don't blink, like you
To
said.
be young again. Super easy, super smooth.
Okay, dirty looks of people. You gotta pause on your chest. So what I'm going to do is give everybody a press signal. You have to wait until I give you a signal. That's the only change to that.
So now, wait for a press signal, because folks are not understanding what they need to do. So he's going to give the full command.
Great point by Mike. Mike pointing out that
Start.
the bar needs to be motionless at the chest.
Rack.
So what's happening is people are doing what we call a touch and go, coming down, touching that chest and sending it up. And so Mike too, in order to make sure that everybody's staying at the chest for the same amount of time, we're adding that press command back in. And so it looks like they're still waiting for Mr. Avery's third attempt.
Did we miss Keenan?
No, he got a second one. He just hasn't turned it in yet, which will change the order if he doesn't do that soon. Bars out.
Press.
Look at that. See? Just as strong with the pause as he was without it. So.
Rack 2, 50 back on the bar.
All right, here comes Roy.
Remember, I'm giving you the press signal now. I'm going to tell you when to press that bar off your chest. Whitney's on deck.
All right, so we're almost done with the second flight here at Duke University's Recreation Center. Bridge to Sports, Valor Games, Southeast. And this is, Ray, what, the 13th year?
It's the 13th year for
13th year.
Redstone's Valor.
That's
Valor Games.
awesome. That's so awesome.
Press. Press. Good lift.
So again, as long as that bar can stop on its way up, as long as it doesn't go back down, it's a good lift. So Roy, obviously a little hitch in the giddy up, but he got it.
And the hands on deck.
All right. Whitney up.
And on deck.
Go David!
another one that's been super strong today. All of her numbers just flying up.
Another one of those lifters where you don't want to blink.
Yep.
Press.
Use that control, down and up.
Yep.
Nice and smooth.
That was the great thing about all of Whitney's lists. They were all fast, but every one of them you could see how much control she had of the bar throughout the whole lift.
Even lift off, even lift, push, everything.
Yep.
Both sides work well together.
And now that makes training for her as she goes in. It gives you an idea of where you can start, where you can train, a training range, finding a coach that knows, you know, how to help you build that lift.
Yeah.
And you can give them some information about, okay, I did a comp, this is what I know I can do and I can control.
Start. Press.
Grinding it out.
Very good.
And another one of those ones that it doesn't matter how fast it goes up as long as it keeps going up.
And that was slow going up.
Yep.
What fight were you in? What's your weight class? 240? Yeah. Did you register with 240? So yeah, we haven't hit that flight yet. That's after this. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, a little quick on that press command. Yep. So he came up before the press command, bar came in, bar came up uneven, locked out differently. So, yep. And I'll tell you what, no sense in arguing with the judges.
Yeah. He didn't listen to the judge.
Nope. And then made sure that they explained what everybody heard Mike say, you got to wait for that press command.
He repeated himself 7 times.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to do.
And you know, the thing is, people underestimate that pause changes the lift so much. You see the kids online, and they're bouncing that bar off of their chest. Stop that bar from moving and then get it going again. That's a whole world of difference. You're going to have to take some weight off that bar if you want it to stop. Candace dancing her way up to the bar. I think she's ready to go. It was the guy from the last fight who didn't show up, and I'm like, here. Candace jumping up to 90 pounds here.
Okay, here we go.
She's surprised herself. I think she was a little excited about that lift. Look at that grin. That's the best part of you.
Good job.
There you go. Personal best by Candace there.
There we go.
And what a great place to do it, too. All right, Yannick with a 100-pound bench. I think this is the biggest bench we've seen by people today.
Okay.
Cleveland's on deck.
Yeah, it is.
I have a good short-term memory. It's just short. So far as I'm concerned, this is the biggest bench I've seen today.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, why not? But Yannick is having a great day. All of her benches have looked really smooth, really strong.
I like the assistance that they're receiving for hand placement, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
It's good.
She's got it out.
Press.
Oh! Thought it was going up there for a second.
It's a good attempt, though.
Spotter did a great job getting that bar.
Cleveland takes it up. 110.
But that's what you want to see. I mean, could she have done 90 pounds? Yes, probably. But yeah, like out there pushing herself. I had a good day. She's executing. I like to see athletes really jump out there and see what they can do. And it's a great environment for it. Everybody's supportive. You've got spotters there to watch you to make sure that you're okay. Cleveland going to 110.
Go Cleveland's attempt.
110 pounds. Wow. A little bit of an issue as you get closer to the chest. Yep, but that's where it gets tougher. So it was a great press, though. Great press.
All power.
All right. Jabril Lee with a 245-pound attempt coming up here. Now, the memory's not great, but I do know this is the biggest press we've seen of the day.
Well, he's impressed me with his first two lifts.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, he looks like a 300-pound lifter.
All right, everybody crowded around. Everybody wants to see the big bench. Good on rack. Wow, just as good as the other lifts. Look at the crowd is asking for him to take a fourth attempt. They love it. They like to see it. All right, that was the end of the second flight. Third flight. Here's our men's light heavyweights, and heavyweights. So, sure. And great job. Really good job. Was that your first time doing this? Or have you? Okay. Well, you must not have lost too much. You look great out there. You're welcome. That's what's most important. There you go.
Absolutely. Yep. What's your goal?
Don't do it
Why
for
are
the
you
crowd,
here?
do it for yourself.
Absolutely. Why are you here? What's your why? Absolutely.
Force to don't do it for the crowd, do it for yourself.
Why are you here?
It is. It's great to see the gym full.
Yeah.
It's when the third flight gets in. A little bit of the crowd heads out, but like you said, athletes have to head to other events.
Yes.
They've got to get to other venues. Trying to get some food in after
That's
lifting.
right.
After
We got lunch
event.
coming up in another hour.
Can I mention how excited I am for lunch? Just,
I gotta admit, I am too. I missed my breakfast. I bought it, but I didn't eat it.
I've done that. I do that quite a bit, actually. You get going, you get busy, you got to get stuff done, and you forget to put fuel in the car sometimes. And then then we wonder why we're dragging at the end of it. And that brings up the whole point of how important nutrition is in a sport like this. Are you eating enough calories to fuel your workouts? Are you trying to burn muscle?
And it's a balance, right? You don't want to eat too much.
Absolutely.
Right? But you have to have enough, like you said, fuel in the tank.
Yeah.
Without that fuel, you're not going to go far.
Yeah. I tell people, when you get down, when you let your gas run down too far in the car, you create other problems in the car. Will it still run? Absolutely. But you're creating more problems. It's the same with our bodies. And, powerlifting is unique in that it is one of the few sports that is weight controlled. So we have weight divisions in it. So watching your weight and either making sure you're competing at the lowest weight you can or being as big as you can in your weight division is part of the strategy. And so nutrition becomes a lot more important than, not that it's not a rifle shooting or archery where it's nothing to do with weight divisions or even wheelchair, rugby, or basketball. Well, those don't have weight divisions, so what you weigh in your nutrition really doesn't matter as long as you can still perform. Here, it's really going to affect how you place because what weight division you're in depends on how competitive it is.
So understanding the rules, the guidelines,
Yeah.
and that's the key, right?
Yep.
Is to work within your limits, explore alternatives, so increasing your power, your timing, your strength.
A lot of factors going on, and it's funny because we talk about benching. Oh, you just lay down and you just press the bar. You see it. Wow, thanks.
It's a technique, like a lot of things.
Absolutely.
When you learn the correct technique, you realize that, you're stronger than you thought.
Brian Conwell. Okay, well, just make sure you're here, that's all. We'll be going in a couple minutes. Charles Thomas.
Taking a roll call
You.
for the final flight.
Kevin Brent. Agents all ready to go. Okay.
We're ready, folks.
First starters, you guys are ready to go, all right?
All right, Mike's got everybody together. Officials are ready. Spotters and loaders are ready.
Before you put it down.
Angela Walker kicking it off for us today.
Hold that.
Hunter, you're up next, buddy. Angela getting some last-minute instructions from the crew to help her be successful. We're going to see if that was a practice attempt.
It looked like a practice
attempt to me too. And I think Mike is confirming that was a practice attempt. Okay. Now that all right, now here comes Angela's real attempt this time.
I'm glad Mike cleared that up with us.
Yes, absolutely. And in an event like this where you have first timers, you want to make sure that they know all the rules, know what they need to do, because a lot of times you can hear the rules, but until you're doing it. Angela forgot her start command and presses it and racks it.
This is the last one.
The last practice, okay?
This is it. This is your final.
This one has to count.
Your final first attempt. So one of the really fun things I find about coaching is how many different ways can I say the same thing to you until it registers. Hold the bar in here until you hear start.
Ready?
All right, she should be good now.
All right. I think she's got this. She holds it. Look at that, third time's a charm.
Wonderful.
That's fantastic. You know, not a single frown in the crowd.
Yeah.
Nobody, screaming about rules violations. Sometimes it's just about getting out there and having fun.
That's your first attempt too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Understand the rules.
Yep. And here comes Hunter. Got to have dinner with Hunter last night.
Oh, great.
Love to watch the young guys put away food.
Where's it all go, right?
I look at that young man, fit as a fiddle, and his pile of food he ate last night was fantastic. Now I know Hunter was a Special Forces young man.
Oh, was he?
So yep, in our military guys that are here and gals that are here, that was where Hunter came from.
Rory. Rory.
Okay, Norman Brothers is 60,000. That's cool, man.
Hunter was ready to go again on the second one. So now, Hunter has never done this before.
Oh, is this his first
So
time?
that was his,
Huh?
yep, and so last night when he was asking about that, we're like, make sure you can do the movement. And so that's what you saw with the 55. It was more of making sure you could hold it, understood what he needed to do, and then his next attempt, you'll see that big second attempt out of him. So. So now we need to go back to Norman. She'll pick him out of the drop down. Can you mute me? All right, Norman's up with 60-pound bench. 3. And 2 of them asked you to move. Good lift for Norman. 60-pound opener. Norman's lift is good. We're moving on to Gordon. So many characters here at Valor Games.
We support one another.
Absolutely. You know, sometimes you just got to make sure you're having a good time.
So 3 people watching, and y'all want me to move.
Remember, start,
I can't believe it, big country. I'm sorry. Hey, man.
Gordon's got 75 pounds.
Hey, but I got to go, man.
I know Gordon had a full day of shooting yesterday, successful. Did some bocce, I saw that as well. Boccia. Love learning about the other sports in the adapted sports world at events like this. I get to see stuff I've never seen. The shooting with the audio targeting system. I thought that was fascinating.
I haven't seen that yet.
It's really great. Gets our visually impaired athletes, gives them a chance to shoot, and they're listening instead of sighting it in with your eyes. They're listening. So super cool. Gordon with a really easy lift. I think Gordon was here taking his last warm-up on the bench. I think that's what that was. So Gordon says that as a joke, but that's absolutely right. You want to make sure you have something on the board.
I want to get on the books.
Yep. Again, we refer to, if you don't get a good lift in, we refer to it as bombing out. And in this sport, unfortunately, it's as if you didn't even compete if you don't get a lift on the board.
All right, Kevin's up next.
Kevin going to 135.
You done better than you could have. Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Okay, Kevin's at the bar, 135.
Getting both those straps hooked on nice and tight. Good descent.
Very nice.
That is a rock solid bench right there.
On somewhere.
Yeah.
175.
Alfonso, you're on.
Oh, I'm up.
What the hell are you doing over there?
Because y'all told me to go. You said that I had won already.
Yeah, that you told me that. Okay.
Alfonso says he's already won.
I'm going to go hold up now, Come on, let's go.
Sometimes it's good to identify the troublemakers early. In the first lift is a good time for us to identify
I
that.
didn't think Alfonso was even competing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I believe we saw another Ogletree compete in the first round. Did we not?
We did.
Oh, that's fantastic. Do it as a family. It's great to see him and his wife competing together. Kevin, do I see a 95-pound jump right there? Mr. Patterson feeling pretty good. All right.
So good, huh? They look good, too.
All right. Mr. Ogletree on the bench, strapped in, 175 pounds on the bar.
Start. Press. No lift.
Ooh.
It did go down, the bar went down a little.
That was tough at the chest. You know, you've got to touch, and it's got to be still. And again, remember we talked about you want to make sure you have a weight that you know you can control and do. So technically, Alfonso gets the lift, but doesn't execute doesn't do all of the things. So. Aaron's going to open up with 200 pounds.
No need to stay at that weight.
Yeah, yep, can't go back down. And that was one of the points we really tried to drive home at weigh-ins and registration. Let the athletes know you get 3 attempts, you can go up as much as you want. Just remember you can't go back down. So for the people that keep saying, why does everybody keep opening up at 50 pounds or 60 pounds? You know why? Because they know they can get that number in, and then we'll figure out everything after that.
Gotta get that first attempt in.
Yeah, for sure. And here's Aaron. I think Aaron has seen a bench or two in his lifetime, so I'm expecting this to be a.
He's been here before.
Yeah. I haven't been to. This is my first Valor Games, but I could look at Aaron and guess that he's done this a few times. He's got a couple of Valor Games shirts in the closet. It really is a testament to the event as well, to see the athletes, to hear so many athletes that have been back year after year after year. Clearly, we're doing things here at Valor Games to make them enjoy the experience, come back, want to do it again, try different sports.
I look forward to it. Full week of competition, right?
Yep.
Competing against yourselves, your friends, your buddies.
Yep. He really is leaving.
Left?
Yeah. So. All right, I think Aaron's on and strapped in. 200 pounds on the bar for an opener.
He'll get this.
He didn't even need a lift off.
Like I said, he's been here before.
Absolutely. That is what that is supposed to look like. And you can tell by that smile on Aaron's face when he comes up. He knows what he's doing, and he knew that was a good one. All right, Trey Thomas is up. 205-pound opener. Here comes Trey. And he's going to get a no lift because he forgot about the press command. So Charles is being reminded about the pause at the chest right now.
Which is unfortunate because it was a very
that
good
was.
lift.
But this is that's a good example of where I'm pretty sure you'll see Trey come back on the next one and go up in weight and just all he has to do is next time remember that he has to
He
pause.
controlled that. Was
Absolutely. That was not a question. Not a question about strength. That was a question about control. So, yep. Yep. So you have to mute me. Okay. All right. All right, so Hunter's back on now that we've gotten him all set up. 225 pounds on the bar for Hunter.
Aaron, you're going to 260. Okay, Hunter. Remember, start, press, rack.
All right, here we go.
Start, press, rack.
Good lift by Hunter all day long.
No lift.
No lift. Okay, so that's a good example of where no problem with the lift.
Stop. Again, it's
you
not.
didn't listen to that man.
Right.
It's this. You have to be a difference between coming down and going up.
Yep.
Okay, I have
Yep.
to see the difference.
Yep. Exactly. And that's, you know, unfortunately, that's how we train in the gym. That's how most of us that grew up in the football or the wrestling or whatever sport you were in, you came in, that bar touch your chest and we bounce it up off of it.
Training in powerlifting.
Right. You wouldn't be aware.
The rules if you're training for that sport.
Absolutely. And I think people forget that powerlifting is a very separate sport from weight training. You know, there's a place in the gym where you can touch and go and there's a legitimate reason to do that. But the sport of powerlifting, there's some rules we got to follow, and one of them is you've got to pause at your chest, and you can be as strong as you want. If you don't follow the rules, we're not going to get a lift. So we'll see what Paul does here with 250 pounds. See if he listens.
Aaron, welcome back.
Oh, yeah.
Paul's been here before too.
Oh, okay. Paul's got some experience here. Soldier, I saw his army hat.
Okay, Paul. Let's do this.
I love to see that athlete taking a minute to get centered, get focused. So we're going to put plates under his legs.
The start committee, after you get the board arm left.
There we go.
Start, press, rapid.
There you go. Now,
At his first lift, you know he had to be an experienced lifter.
Yep.
He started off like that too.
yeah. Yeah. Now, as a coach, I probably would say that was too heavy of a lift to start with. not a lot of room to go from there. What I'd also suggest is that he lets the lift off people. That's a good example. Let them get the bar out for you, because a lot of his struggle was getting it out of the rack. Let those guys do the hard work for you. Absolutely, absolutely. So, but Paul he's done this before, so he knows where he's going. Brian Big Country Conwell.
Big Country's on there.
Big Country looks like here's another cat who looks like he's done this once or twice before.
Opening at 265.
This is definitely, you can definitely tell we've moved into the plus size models now. I'm sure Paul is thinking on his next one, he's going to let the handoff guys give him a hand getting it out of the bar. Aaron's over here focused on his next lift. Brian bringing out the smelling salts. Big Country is not messing around. Not like a little bottle of ammonia to wake you up, huh?
That will wake you up too.
Brian opening with the biggest lift of the meet so far.
Don't one-hand it up.
I think that sets the expectations for what we're about to see here pretty well.
Let's go. Start.
It's Big Country.
Come on, Big Country.
Now see, exactly what he was supposed to do. He paused until he heard press, locked it out, put it in the rack. Textbook bench press. It's too bad he's not excited about that either. Look at that.
That was just his opener.
Yeah. Makes me wonder what's going to happen on that third attempt. All right. All right, now we're back to the top of the second round. All right, Miss Walker's back up, going to 50 pounds. I'm betting money that Angela will not need 3 attempts to get it right this time.
Let's hope not. So plenty of practice, right? Big Country. That's Big Country. Everybody jumped.
Somebody's service animal is wondering what is happening right now.
Ages 22nd attempt.
So, Angela has already completed a powerlifting meet on her first attempt. So she took her 3 attempts on the first one. She is now starting her second powerlifting meet of the day.
All right, Angela, let's go.
Start. Press.
There we go. And again, the difference in that lifter from the first to the second. Angela learned so much in that small period of time, and you saw a better power lifter that time. And that's really what we're here for, right?
Take some time with the athletes.
Absolutely.
Teach.
Yep. And Mike has been in the sport for so long. I mean, and he has mentored, the people he's mentored are mentoring me now. So, I mean, there are now generations of coaches that have been around. So guys like Mike leading this up and Ray, you that have been here so long, you guys are really setting the standard for what the other coaches are doing to help us bring up our next set of athletes. So having guys like Mike up there on the platform right next to the athletes to kind of coach them through what they need to do, all we're doing is making better athletes, and the more fun they have with the sport, the more success they have, or the more success they have with the sport, the more fun they're going to have. And that's it. Yep. Nice job. And that's a great example right there of the bar. It can be uneven as long as it starts and locks out that same way. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. As long as we don't see one end lock out and then the other end comes up, then we're in trouble. So, great job by Norman. Another easy lift.
All right, we have Gordon up next. 100 pounds.
Gordon adding a quarter to his last attempt. There you go, another easy lift for Gordon.
Good job.
See, now that's what we need to see on camera. All right.
There's ammonia.
Yep, Kevin with the smelling salts. So for the folks at home that are wondering what they're sniffing in there, that is a little bottle of basically smelling salts or ammonia. So when you see people pass out, you see them crack that little thing and wave it under their nose, and they wake up, and that's what powerlifters will sniff, just a little bit of, well, the technical term is arousal, but you know, get ready.
Boxers use the same thing.
Yeah, yep. All right, here comes Kevin. A 95-pound jump on this. I think that's confidently saying his first one was easy.
It's definitely saying I feel good.
Yep. And you can really see now, when you move into this men's, the light heavyweights and the heavyweights, you can really see how the weights jump up all of a sudden from the, 80s, 100, 150, 160. These folks are moving some weight now. All right, here goes Kevin. Good control. Nope. So a little bit of a confusion about whether or not he was waiting for the press command or not, so he's giving him another attempt at it. No lift. So again, that pause at the chest makes the lift so much harder. So a lift of 230 pounds that you normally could be able to do with just touch and go, if I make you stop that bar, it makes it a lot harder to be successful at.
Basically starting without any momentum.
Exactly. Yep. For you exercise science folks, that's that stretch reflex gets taken out of there.
Weightlifting, we also use that bounce theory,
Yeah.
You bounce off your chest. Right? That's that part of that momentum.
Yep. Wow. So again, Ray, remember what we talked about at the beginning? The bigger guys get in here and they get so psyched up about the weights, and the ego gets up there and look how much weight. They forget the basics of what they're doing, which is to listen to the commands and execute.
Gave him a good lift up. He's negotiated. I mean,
so that's a borderline. Either he was doing it up in the air. And here comes Hunter. Hunter had the same thing. An easy lift on the beginning, just didn't listen for his commands.
What's interesting, the jump that these guys are going through.
Yes, yes. You know, Kevin's jumped 95 pounds. There's nothing wrong with taking a 75 pound jump.
Successful lift, they're still going to make that jump.
Yep.
They know they can do it.
Well, and if you know you can make the strength and you just miss the commands, I would really make sure I'm listening to the commands on the next one. It's almost like they're ignoring that they missed it on technicalities. Make sure you fix the technicals. No. So that one was just straight a strength issue there. That was too much weight on the bar for Hunter. But you love to see him go after it. Now, unfortunately, Hunter has to go, you know, he can't go back down. So now it's, you miss 225, you miss 255, he can't go down to 235 or 245. He has to either do 255 again or go up. And why would you go up if you couldn't get it? So
actually on that lift, it looked to me that, you know, when he was bringing the bar down to his chest, all his strength was gone. Once he hit his chest, he had no more lift.
Yep. It was too
very nice going down.
It looked good.
But it took everything out of him.
Yeah. Yeah. And then again and then add in a pause, you're gassed, controlling it down, you have to hold it there and then restart, and it's exactly what you said. I think all of his energy was gone by that point.
Come on, Aaron!
At 260.
Aaron with a super easy opener. Can't imagine I'm going to be too surprised by what we're going to do here. Now,
I believe he's not touching grounds that he hasn't touched before. He's been here.
There you go. And now, especially after our last three lifters, look at all the issues we had. Now watch Aaron's lift. Watch him listen to commands, execute. If he does what he did on his first one, you're going to see exactly how it's supposed to be done.
Let's take a look.
Press. There you go. Oh, yeah.
It can be done. It should be done like that. Great lift by Aaron.
He uses lifters to get the bar up, to get it up. He used it.
Why waste that energy? Yep. All right, Big Paul is up, 275. Get those plates under his feet this time to start with, I'm sure.
Chalk. Oh, he's using too much of that chalk. Chalk is chalk. One squirt is all you need.
And they got to make sure they give that time to dry on there. All right, Paul is up, 275 pounds on the bar. Guys. All right, here we go. Paul with 275 for a second attempt. Ooh, too much weight.
So-
Too much weight that time.
One thing I noticed, Scott, he took his foot off of the ground.
Yep.
One foot was up in the air. One
Yeah.
leg was up in the air.
Yep.
You can't
Yeah.
press that kind of weight
Yep.
like that.
Yeah. And you'll see a lot of times you'll see athletes in the able-bodied world, when they go to lift, you'll see those feet start dancing around, moving. The butt shoots up off of the bench. And yep, absolutely, Ray. Yep. And it was just too big a jump, especially after that, looking at how that 250. Now, here's the good news. Paul got a lift in. So he does have a heavyweight lift in. Here comes Big Country.
Let's go.
So here, and again, some of the rules are a little different. We're a little looser here. Theoretically, these guys should have to turn their next attempt in within 1 minute. The longer we wait, the more of the guys they get to see how much do I need to lift in my next one. And there's a lot of gamesmanship going on out on the floor right now, Ray.
And most sports, right?
Yep. I heard Boccia got a little heated yesterday too, so I'm not surprised to see powerlifting emotions are flying high here.
It's the biggest lift of the day so far, 280.
Oh yeah. All right, Brian. Good descent. Great pause. Great press.
Well done.
Big Country moving big weights and executing. What a great lift. I believe that was the equivalent of a Hyundai right there. Or at least a small Kia. All right, we're going into the third round once all these athletes turn in their third attempts. I think so. I think he's going to make a run at it. I think that's going to be a borderline attempt for him. It looked like 280 slowed down a little bit for him, but I think if he puts his mind to it, he's got some room to speed that all up a little bit. Big Country going to go for 300. All right, so let's see what Aaron's going to put in.
I should be able to push that one up. Don't y'all know I'm Brian Shaw's mini-me? It's American. That one calories a day.
So what we're looking at is a battle in the heavyweight division between Aaron and Big Country. Aaron's about to put in his number. That's a huge jump for Aaron if he's going to try and make a run at it.
Hey, Angela. 342.
Angela Walker up for her 9th attempt of the day, 55 pounds. Look at that. So Angela ends up going 7 for 3 on the day. There you go. All right.
385. Okay.
Come on, man.
How you feel?
Go up 300?
Huh?
You want to go up 300?
I already knew I I couldn't do 300 that way.
Good.
I had to hold it for a second.
And you got more sports to get through for the week too as well, right? So let's walk out of here intact with the. All right, Norman's up, 125. Big jump for Norman.
There you go.
Start. Press.
He gave a thumbs up.
Gordon's up. 125 on the bench.
That's good.
That's the last one.
Gordon was hoping that number was going to go up on his own. Getting Gordon strapped in. 125 on the bar.
Here we go. He's ready?
Nice job. Once he heard the commands, clearly he was ready to go. Nice job by Gordon. 3 for 3 on the day. Trey with the big jump. I guarantee you there will be no leniency from the judge on his commands this time.
Not this time.
Yeah, because last time he didn't say start and he went.
He's anxious.
Yeah.
Here we go. Charles Thomas III, Trey. He waited. Now, you're capable of doing it. That's all we wanted to see.
What's good? Charles, how much you weigh?
275. There you go.
Well, Aaron, you're 10 over that already. I mean, you're next to 10. You're next to 10. You can check the scoreboard.
He's light heavyweight anyways. He's a light heavy. All right, Paul gonna make another run at this.
Oh, you got multiple flights in this one?
Yeah.
Weight classes?
Yep, so we have men's light heavyweight and men's heavyweight. Yep. So Trey's a weight class down. So Paul actually making a really good, smart decision here and going onto the para bench. Now he's going to lose some of his leg drive, but as you pointed out, his leg came up anyways. He wasn't using them, so hopefully here maybe he gets a little more stability. He's going to reattempt that 275 because we can't go back down.
It must feel a lot different. You know?
It is. It's very different lift.
He does use his legs at times.
Yep.
Now he can't.
Yep. But on his last lift, he also, I mean, those legs, that leg was up in the air the moment he unracked the bar. So, you know, his legs weren't involved previously. Maybe now the straps give him a little more stability You know, you can really squeeze those hips against the straps to try and get more leverage on the bar. Now, based on how the last lift looked, he's definitely got an uphill fight to go. Like I said, that Duke gravity today is definitely turned up on high for some of us.
Here we go. Let's trap his ankles down. Real tight. They were practically lifting up the bench to make that strap tight around his ankles.
They're trying to give him as much leverage as they can.
All right, all strapped in, he's ready.
Keep our spotters close.
Start. Press. Let's go,
Yeah, that was a big jump there. Spotters, though, keeping him safe, making sure everything, Paul got up and walked away, can go do the rest of his sports for the day.
It was a good attempt, though. I mean, to get
It was.
in.
And you can actually tell that looked like that was a better attempt at that weight than he was with his legs down, for sure, for sure. All right, Hunter going to take another spin with 255, and he needs this just to stay in the meet. You know, unfortunately,
Doesn't have a good lift yet.
yeah, it did not look good on his last attempt, but maybe he gets tight. Come on, Hunter.
One meant to be.
Yep, yep. You know, and even if that weight goes up, you know, even in the able-bodied world, when your butt comes up off of the bench like that, it's a no lift. So, yeah, it's that rule is the same in pair. Even though our legs are up, you can see athletes drive their heels into the ground, and the hips could come up. Again, another reason to use the straps. That would also be a no lift on the para side too. All right, so Aaron opted to go to 285. I think if Aaron had had a little more time, took some time away from the sport, sounds like it's just coming back now. I think if he was a little more confident with where he was going, I think we'd probably see a bigger lift out of him. But I think this is a really smart decision. Take a number you know you can get, walk away so that you can do the sports the rest of the week. And like we said, if you look at the board, Ray, it's just what we talked about. You get into these higher body weights and you start seeing guys move weights, the big weights, and you see the execution drop off. And we've seen more no lifts in this division than we did in the last two combined. I think that's a testament to, when you're in the gym, you got to check your ego at the door. You really do.
It's tough to do.
It is. And I'll tell you, as a seasoned lifter, I even look at what I did back in the day, and I have a hard time with myself saying, well, I used to do it with 40-pound dumbbells. Now I'm grabbing 10s, and it's hard sometimes to make that call.
It is. It's hard to let go.
Yeah.
Go, Aaron. He's dead.
That's right. Then I read all the studies about how good heavy weight training is for those of us that are older, and I'm okay as long as I got weight in my hands. All right, Aaron, here we go. Last two lifts of powerlifting.
Let's go. Let's go.
That bar's slowing down. got turned on quick. Nice attempt by Aaron.
Good try, Aaron.
And you hit that sticking point where Aaron probably could have held that there for another 6 or 7 seconds. But it wasn't going up. But he was going to hold on to it there. So sometimes you got to know when to say when. Aaron was going to keep fighting, though.
You know, when you're training, that sticking point, you know, with your partner, just touch the bar.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Yep. One finger, two fingers on there.
Right.
Yep. All right, so Big Country going to close us out with the first 300-pound attempt of powerlifting. Great way to end para powerlifting here at Valor Games.
Bar height.
Really, the best part of it is if you look around the room at all of the lifters, whether they made a lift or didn't make a lift, you see smiles on everybody's faces, and that's really what we're about here today, folks.
More money for Brian. Bring on that. Biggest lift of the day.
Hey, come on, country. Hey, easy day.
Big lift of the day. Here we go. 300 pounds. Big lift, Big Country.
Big Country getting those wrist wraps. We haven't seen a lot of those today, so it's one of the few pieces of supportive gear that we can wear to help us when we're benching are those wrist wraps. And it's really more to support those wrists from bending back, making sure you get that bar in the right position. And you start moving weights like this, it gets real tough on the joints, the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, the joints really take a beating.
That they do.
All right, Big Country's ready to go. Dipping into that those smelling salts.
He's awake now.
I don't know that Big Country needed too much more hyping up for this lift. I think he's ready. Big guy, big grip. Looking at those arms. All right, straps are in. All that's left is a down and up. Bars out. Oh, it was a great try. It came off of his chest really well. I thought for sure that was going. Wow, great way to end.
That concludes the program for today.
Nice job. What a fantastic program here at Valor Games.
Wonderful time.
Absolutely. So thank you, Ray. I really appreciate it. That was awesome. I look forward to doing this again with you in the future.
Absolutely. Our athletes are on to other sports in Cameron.
Yep.
And Sharpeville.
Full week of competition for them. It's just interesting. As a powerlifting athlete, we'll do a powerlifting meet, and then I spend the whole weekend recovering. I can't imagine I got to go run and do 6 other events right after this.
Table tennis, rowing, and
yeah, especially cardio after this. So.